So this is Bladecast number 21 with Kevy. It's January 15th, 2019. Kevy is a Twitch partner, Discord partner, and a Smash Ultimate coach. Kevy, welcome into the stream. How are you doing?
Swell, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Looking forward to it.
So for anyone that doesn't know you, can you kind of explain your story from when you started Twitch?
When I started, sure. It was about 4.5 years ago. It actually was because I was doing YouTube videos as a hobby. I was making a lot of Pokemon content and Smash Bros stuff when that came out for the 3DS. And then in the comment section, people were asking me, can you stream on Twitch? And then I started looking into what Twitch was. Also, sorry for the mess behind me.
You're all good.
Lol, that's funny. That's usually cut out when I'm live. But anyway, yeah, there you have an unplugged Xbox 360. That's a pretty good embodiment of my journey. It's been kind of messy, but we're falling into place now.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I was asked to stream on Twitch in the comment section of when I was making Smash 3DS when that came out. So towards the end of October 2014, I started streaming after watching some people to kind of like see what the ropes were like, see what the culture was like. And being theatrical myself, I just kind of like naturally drifted more towards Twitch. I just like it a lot more, like being live, being able to respond right then and there. Definitely way better for me than making videos and having to edit them and pump out content and render stuff. So
yeah,
that was how I got started. Yeah.
So when it comes to Twitch as a whole, do you find that it's easier for you to kind of enjoy your time being on there since you don't have to do all the rendering and all that editing stuff? It's just kind of like, hey, it's live, F it, let's do it live, and whatever comes out basically.
Yeah, it's definitely more natural for me. And like I said, like being theatrical, I've taken film classes and I did theater in college, so
Same here.
It's kind of like a parallel to that. I've always said that Twitch is more like Broadway and YouTube is more like movies, and obviously Broadway is less popular than the movies, but like similar to how like YouTube is more popular than Twitch.
Yeah.
But it just feels more like it's my place where I belong, if that makes sense. Like it's just a natural fit.
No, I like that. I like that. And, and I feel like I have a lot of people that are friends that are Twitch people, and a lot of people that are friends that are YouTube people, and you can kind of see the culture difference just between even small cultures. Like I have a friend who's a he plays Super Mario or not Super Mario, yes, the Super Mario Odyssey, and he does like fast runs of that and all that, speed runs of that. And he said that the culture on Twitch when like AGDQ is on, he said he's happy that he's on YouTube just because of that alone. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, I guess, because a lot of the speed runners get kind of trampled on because of AGDQ. So that's kind of, I mean, it was interesting to see just between his one instance. And I really never put that into perspective until just like this year, basically. So recently, you had done a rebrand from originally you were Kev Sim, and then Kev Sim, and then Kev Simon, and then now you're Kevy. Now, when it comes to, and I read your whole twit longer. By the way, I really enjoy your story of like why you've changed your name and whatnot. The question I want to ask you is, as a streamer that's been on for a bit, was it hard to do the rebrand, or was it somewhat easier that since you've been on a little bit longer?
This one was a little bit more unique. So for context, this was my second time changing my channel name entirely. I kind of, I don't want to say I approached it in the smartest way, but I definitely approached it in a more prepared way. It still might have felt like abrupt or like out of nowhere to people, but like honestly, what rebrand doesn't, if that makes sense. Yeah, this one has definitely been better because I went into it prepared. The first time I rebrand, my first name was Pokev Sim when I was more geared towards Pokemon content because that's where I started on YouTube, even though I streamed Smash mainly.
Yeah.
At the start for like my first year and a half of streaming, it was just Smash, but Um, then I moved to Kev Simon after getting partnered. So that still, while it was like a hard rebrand because it was a very impulsive choice, this one was definitely it was definitely better for sure. And I like how things are falling into place now, like 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, when you started as Kev Simon, was it um, when you when you started your Kev Simon? It was right after you got partnered. How long did it take you to get partnered?
Getting part well, how long did it take me? As far as like when I was actively going for it, I would say it was like a 2 year on and off process
Mm,
because I always liked streaming in the middle of when I was in college, so it was hard to commit. But
yeah.
when I only had one job and one obligation, it was much easier.
Hmm.
And then when Twitch got to a level where my income on Twitch was surpassing more than my other job, it was justified to go full time on Twitch as an affiliate. When that program rolled out, it definitely helped me out a lot financially because they throw out sub buttons, they throw out bits, and I just had a very generous community. So I was able to devote more into streaming. And then once that happened, I'd say that was a 5 to 6 month process after the affiliate program launched, where partnership definitely felt realistic.
Yeah.
But it took a total over like over 3, 4 years, it took a total of 11 applications.
I
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when they didn't have the affiliate program. I tried to apply and I had like 15 concurrent people, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try it because why not? Like I had known a couple
Mm,
people in the Twitch like atmosphere, like the staff members and stuff like that at the time, and I tried. I just was like, let's see what happens, and it was like a hard no, like poof, no. It like
yeah.
probably 3 days later, I was like, ah. But now I kind of took a step back and I realized like to become partner, it's one of those things that yeah, it's awesome, but like it's not just like okay, you become partner now everything's open for you guys. You're ready to go. Like no, that's just the first step. So, um,
Yeah.
as you became partner, did it seem like a lot of doors were opening for you, or did it seem like things were kind of evened out again?
That's actually I like that question a lot, the way you phrased it. Did doors open for you? Because I actually felt like I had like the way I described it the day I got partnered
Mm,
was it felt like I opened a door to like the gates of heaven or like a giant room filled with opportunities.
yeah,
Like there's no ceiling as far as like what I'm limited to now.
right.
That said, once you get partnered, it's a lot more difficult than just being a casual streamer, than just being like an inviting affiliate. I would argue it's much harder because the way people perceive somebody with a check mark versus somebody who is an affiliate with a sub button, like it's just two different things.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of viewers will tell you that. And I think a lot of streamers will tell you that too. Um, I will say though that it is such a good feeling. Like
yeah.
nothing can replace the feeling of finally getting it when you've been working so hard for it. It's so nice.
Yeah, I would say this year, my whole goal is it's not to get partnered, but it's just to get noticed more.
Mhm.
As a person that I used to be someone that wanted to do just I'm gonna play video games all the time, and then I took a step back and I was like, okay, so what's not working because it's not like I'm not really getting noticed. Like what do I need to do? So I started listening to more podcasts and listening to people who knew what they were talking about, and then I like was like, well, I'm not doing any of this. What am I doing now? I understand what I'm doing wrong. Like I'm not
Mm.
promoting myself on Twitter. I'm not promoting myself on Instagram. None of that. I kind of just expected people to show up, and that was definitely a kick in the butt for sure. When it came to having your YouTube, did it was it a good migration of people that came from your YouTube to your Twitch, or did you see kind of like it fell off from YouTube to Twitch?
Actually, a lot of the more devoted people like that started watching me for Pokemon. A lot of them came on to like help me moderate. A lot of them just like were in voice calls with me, and that's what made starting streaming just so easy and natural. Playing a multiplayer game and having friends with me
Yeah,
definitely created a very inviting environment. Like my first stream had 40 people in it. So it's actually very hard when people like come to me and they're like, "How do I get started?" I'm like, for me it was just so natural.
Yeah.
And I did have an influx of YouTube people just come over to Twitch, but the problem that I had was I didn't maintain YouTube, so the people that were more YouTube focused kind of fell out of Twitch over time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was definitely a very easy transition. Yeah.
Now with the whole start of your Smash Ultimate coaching, have you
Mhm.
seen an influx of people coming in for just the Smash advice and whatnot?
Yes, actually, since I announced that I'm going to devote more to coaching than competing, I have had a lot more people coming into streams just asking me questions like, "What do I think of this matchup? What do you think of Mewtwo? What do you think of Crom? What do I think of this, that?" Which I really like because it's helping me know what kind of research I need to do if I don't know an
Yeah.
answer to specific things. There's 74 characters and we're a month and a half in, so obviously I don't know everything.
Right.
Um, but it is really fun to exchange and educate people that, like, might be a little misinformed. Like, some people think that Ganondorf is top tier because this is their first Smash game ever, and I can
Right.
just tell you, I promise you that's not the case, you know? And it's good to be trusted with that knowledge. It's
Yeah.
very nice.
Um.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of all the 74 characters, what are the top 5 characters that you recommend a beginner play with?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Mario is number 1.
Okay.
I put Lucina as number 2. Or I'd tie them for first depending on if you want mobility with Mario like a combo game or if you just want spacing and fundamentals with a sword. I
Okay.
would tie them for first. So there's my 1 and 2, Mario Lucina. Then I'd put Cloud. Then I would put Inkling. I think Inkling's very popular and very commonly used and while they may be a little tricky and they are technical, I do think that they are easy to get started with. So that's 4, right?
Yep.
Inkling, Cloud, Mario, Lucina. Um, number 5, I guess I'll just cheat and say Marth because he'll help you with spacing, and it's Lucina's Echo. They fight the exact same way. So
Okay.
if you know Lucina, you should know Marth. So that would be my top 5 for sure.
I'm a Kirby main, and I stick with that forever. I don't like. I tried Bowser, and Bowser is that was my nickname in college, so I tried to like gravitate towards that, but then I realized that I'm really good with Kirby, and
Mhm.
I have people at work that I work with that I'm like giving my friend code to. I'm like, come play me, come play me, come play me, because I will end you with Kirby. Like it's just how I feel. I don't now that's guys that I know that don't coach. I would never challenge you to this because I feel like you would absolutely obliterate me, and I don't need to see that. I don't need that heartbreak in my life right now. Um, so yeah, that's my experience. I've played like every single Smash since the start, so I'm pretty stoked on that. Um,
Mhm.
now since your from what I've read on your bio at least, your favorite game was Sonic 2. Um, is that still was that still or is that was the first game that you ever played?
Yeah, yeah, that was
So
the first game I ever played. Yeah.
so have you seen that Sonic is in this one? Do you play with him frequently or not so much?
There's some things from the previous game in Smash Wii U that made Sonic like really, really, really good that
Hmm,
they took away from him in this
okay.
new game. Sonic is always fun for me to play casually or like every now and then.
Hmm,
But he just requires so much work and brain power to get through like 10 matches in a row of trying to win with that I don't vibe with him or mesh well with him the same way I do with other characters like sword fighters or combo characters.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
So, yeah.
Um, and the other question I'm gonna bounce off that Sonic question is, have you seen the Sonic trailer and what do you think of it?
No comment. I don't have an opinion. I just feel like my only opinion is that those legs are just no.
Too much.
No.
I was I don't know who he is in the movie. And you might be able to help me out with this, but Jim Carrey is apparently in the movie. I don't know who he plays. I'm thinking Robotnik, and if he does, awesome, or Eggman, whatever they want to call him in this one. Yeah. So that's that. I would be okay with him in the movie as long as he's not Sonic.
That would be That would definitely add to the entertainment. I don't know if I'll be able to move past the human legs. I don't
Yeah.
know about that. It's too weird.
Yeah. Seeing him in what was it, Lemony Snicket, I was like, oh. And then I kind of understood like he might be good as like an Eggman or a Robotnik just because of
Mhm.
his like demeanor, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
I could see him as like he's like it's like a mesh between Count Olaf and and who did he play? And the Grinch, just like that
Yeah,
mesh.
he's very over the top, and I think that he could definitely serve a video game villain role that's, like, very cheesy. I think he could treat that well if that is him playing the role, for sure.
Yeah. So okay, so the next question I have, when it comes to Twitch, what are some things that you've seen in the last couple years that you like, and a couple things that you dislike that you've seen that the platform has been doing?
Um I will say I like that they seem to be listening more to what the users want. So, in the example of the affiliate program, people wanted more ways to monetize their content. That's something people have been asking for since I started. Like, why don't I get a sub button? Why don't I get bits?
Hmm.
So that's a good thing, and I know that it's also a bad thing because it gives people too early of a taste of like what partnership can feel like. But that was just like that was a gripe I had at the start of it. It's like now I'll never know what my first partnership sub feels like, but once I got partnership, it was still an amazing feeling. It was still great. So
Yeah.
like all those things that like previous partners had before the affiliate program that are like, oh, now affiliates are it's oversaturated, this, that. It's
Yeah.
not a problem anymore. I also do like the achievements program because it adds transparency to what you need to do to be able to apply for partnership. Too many people have applied for partnership with like 5, 10 viewers and have been like, come on, guys, let's push it. We have great chat interaction. We get so much money here. Like, let's try to get partnered. And that's just way too early.
Yeah.
And now having it spelled out for you that this is way too early to apply is a very good thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that's bad about the achievements program that I dislike about it is that it conditions everybody to strive for and want partnership for people that might not have had that goal in mind, that just kind of are a hobbyist streamer that are more casual with their approach. Now
Yeah.
they have this whole numbers thing just thrown in their face. So I like and dislike both of those things. Those are my biggest things are the affiliate program and the achievements thing. Um, I like that they're adding other features soon, like the whole sub streak versus just the sub badges based on how many total months you've subbed versus you have to sub 6 months in a row to have a 6 month badge. I'm glad that they're fixing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the raids feature, raids have been around for years, so it's nice that they're officially supporting it. Um, I dislike that affiliates aren't separated into tiers or like at least give them more than one subscriber emote.
Yeah.
Give people more of a reason to subscribe to affiliates too, because one emote and just the sake of wanting to help somebody out, like that's not gonna help people. They deserve a little bit more. Like if an affiliate gets 100 subscribers, recognize them for that at least.
Absolutely.
Give them at least something is my opinion. A lot of people are going to disagree with that and be like we shouldn't hand things to them, but like affiliates now they have sub badges, which I love.
Yeah.
The fact that they even get emotes is great. Also I think that Twitch needs to do a little bit more about tiered subs, like a $10 sub and a 24.99 sub should be more than just one emote and financial support. There needs to be way more of a reason to do it.
Yeah.
So there's all these good things, but I think that they come with cons as well.
I agree. I do like what Zeke is saying. Squad streams. That's something that I'm pretty stoked about, and I think that
Yeah.
the anyone that does fighting games and or co-op games, that's a fantastic thing for people. It becomes one of those things where people can easily switch between streamers that they're friends with, or be able to watch two different streamers at the same time, and it can help both ends, and you can really either a grow from it, or b you can network like crazy with it, and that's awesome.
Mhm.
um I like that one. I agree with you on that. The fact that they need to have some sort of affiliate program where it gives you tiers and whatnot, because
Yeah.
I've seen some affiliate streamers that have more chat interaction, more, they just don't have the numbers of 75 viewers to get to that, that threshold or whatever. But
Right.
there's also things that people don't realize, that if you're an affiliate streamer and say you have, let's say, 65 people in chat every night, let's just say you're just at that very little cusp. If you have an it factor that pushes you just a little bit above the the eyes of oh, I'm just a streamer, um they look at that. If
Hmm.
you are constantly doing charity streams, or you're constantly doing something, they look at that. You have to take that into consideration, and you have to end up like saying in your little blurb about yourself, like, hey, I also
Yeah.
do this, hey, I also do this. Like for you could be like, hey, I'm also a Smash Ultimate coach, just so y'all know this. Heads up, like I do other things than just be a streamer. um
Hmm.
it's I love that. I love the fact that it's not just cut and dry anymore, because it used to be 500. You had to have 500 concurrent viewers every night.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was when I
what?
started streaming. That was when I started streaming. That's what the partner application looked like. They're like, you need 500 viewers. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
uh, oh, that's gonna be some work. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean,
lot.
I like the idea of trying to, almost separate people, in tiers like that, but it's just that was such a hard jump for some people to make.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
I think it's not good to put somebody who's like really good, like what you're saying, somebody who constantly does like charity streams and raises a lot of money,
yeah,
but like they're right there, but they're not quite there.
yeah,
Um, there should definitely be some sort of recognition for them. I don't necessarily think another title or like tiered affiliates should. I don't know if that's like the best word,
yeah.
because I think there's two tiers of affiliates. There's good affiliates and there's entitled affiliates. But
Mm-hmm.
um
Go to Twitch.
that's another.
Go to TwitchCon. You'll know. You understand it.
Yeah, there's people that beg for things and there's people that work with what they have. And the people that work with it and are successful and they get like the 50, 60, 65 viewers, or like they have 100, 200 subs. There's plenty of affiliates like that are so close, and they have been so close, but it's just like they don't get the lucky hosts. They're not on a stream team. There's et cetera, a multitude of reasons. They definitely should have something like at least a few extra emotes or something to like recognize that they're doing well, for
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. And I think personally, what it comes down to is I think that we can't condition people to expect things. That's the biggest thing. It's like, it took me a while to become an affiliate, and it's because I was being lazy about it. And once I became an affiliate, I was like, cool, that's awesome. I have an emote, like, awesome. All right, whatever. Like, I didn't really like energize myself towards it. I took time off. I was being lazy about it. Now that I'm not being lazy about it, I'm kind of behind the ball, but at the same time, I'm still enjoying myself. I'm not like, oh, I
Mhm.
deserve this, I deserve that. No, it's just I'm just a guy who plays video games and occasionally does stuff that's not video games. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not I haven't lifted myself above that tier of people that I feel like I should be above to get whatever status, whatever. And watching people, have you been to TwitchCon?
Yeah, I was at it in 2017 and 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
So watching affiliates especially is quite fun to watch, because and like I said, I don't expect anything. I go, I pay to go, I enjoy myself. That's all I expect. I see my friends, that's it. Watching people who are like, oh, but I want to get this X, Y, and Z. Like, the partner's got jerseys. I want to get a jersey. Well, then become a partner. Oh, I want a backpack that says partner on it. Then become a
Yeah.
partner. What do you want me to tell you
Yeah.
guys? Like, I can't tell you anything
Yeah.
else. Like, I'm sorry, I can't. Yes, you can get a pin that says affiliate. Good for you. Guess
Yeah.
what? But
Where's the affiliate lounge?
yeah, where's the affiliate lounge? There is no affiliate lounge. This is the affiliate lounge, guys. This is, you know, like I love being just part of the community. I don't care if I'm,
Yeah.
you know, I do. The only thing I do, the only gripe I do have with TwitchCon is the fact that they put affiliates and community members in the same line together, so it becomes a cluster f of like proportions that I can't even explain.
I think that the lines in general, they're just bad.
Yes,
The line
yes,
situation, like I asked 3 different staff members where I'm supposed to go. My friend, my personal friend, like I have his phone number, who is Twitch staff,
yeah,
was walking in. I'm like, "Can I go in with you?" He's like, "Oh, you're just supposed to wait there." And like he was wrong. They told him the wrong information.
yep,
And then at the end of it all anyway, I just found a little staircase on the side that I just walked up, and then I went through the door anyway
yep,
without waiting on a line. I'm like, "What?"
yep,
And that's me as a partner. So
yes.
the whole everything was just bad,
Uh,
super bad.
my first year there, I waited in. We were in. What is it? It was not San Jose was last year. What was the year before? It was um I'm trying to think
Long
of
Beach.
Long
Yeah.
Beach. There we go.
Long Beach, yeah.
Long Beach. I waited in a line, and it was like the line was super duper long, right? And we're at like the back of the line, which is at the back of the convention center. And then we're like waiting in line, waiting in line. Then they're like, "Oh, affiliates and partners are actually this other line. You guys need to go up here." I'm like, "Oh, okay." We go up to that line. I was at the front of the freaking line. Like, I was like, what? I just waited a half hour in line, and then you dumped me into this other line. Now I'm at the front of the line. I mean, I'm not complaining, but what the hell? What the hell is this? I'm like, there's no signs. There's none. Like, they just kind of like threw it out to the open, and like, hopefully people will figure it out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that's my little gripe with TwitchCon. Other than that, I'm happy that this year at least they had Wi-Fi. That was a plus. You were able to connect, for a thing where you connect with all your people outside of your inner circle of people on the internet. You couldn't connect on the internet in Long Beach, which was it blew my mind. It blew my freaking mind.
Yeah.
What I have heard, um, there was Wi-Fi at TwitchCon. Welp, yeah, there was Wi-Fi at this TwitchCon, 2018, Bulletproof, this year. What I have
Yeah,
heard,
you could see his little badge in
y-
the chat.
yeah, what I have heard is that next year is possibly in San Diego.
That would be nice because the San Diego Convention Center was huge from what I've heard. Like they only needed a third of the space, and now that Twitch is probably 3 times bigger, they could probably use that space very well.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah, yeah. I was like, I actually heard that today, and I was like, oh, okay,
yeah, and
like
I love San Diego. I've been there just on my own trip, and it's beautiful. One of my favorite places, and the Mexican food is yes,
yeah.
yes. I approve.
There was a place in Long Beach. It was called the Breakfast Bar, and it was just like a little breakfast spot that was down the road from the convention center. I ate there every single morning. I spent $19.99 on breakfast for myself every single morning, and guess what? I was not full until dinner time. It was the greatest breakfast I've ever had. It was like eggs
Wow.
and like it was like eggs, bacon, meatloaf. It was like this whole they brought it out on like a platter, and I was like, what the what I'm like, what the hell is this? And they're like, yeah, this is our breakfast. I'm like, like the
Wow.
the gods rained upon me like the greatest. I was like, this is amazing. I love myself, right? Like, I don't even know why I did it, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna spend this $20 on myself because why not?
Mhm.
Yes, I'm hoping for San Diego to be the next place. I kept saying that
Yeah,
either San Diego or San Francisco are the two ones that I'm really hoping
I agree with you on those. Yeah.
for. So do you see Smash becoming a mainstream game with like Fortnite, where there's tournaments and whatnot at cons?
I would argue that it kind of already is mainstream.
Yeah,
Like, name me one person that doesn't know what Smash is, or like that doesn't know. Like when you bring up Smash Bros, like they don't think of like the immediate character they love or like the move they love. Like it
yeah,
10, 15 years ago, you bring up Smash Bros at school and somebody goes, "Oh, Falcon Punch," and now it's still for the most part everybody's playing Link or Kirby. That's, what most people gravitate towards, but
Yeah.
that's fine. But with such a huge roster and with how well the Switch has sold, and kind of with the collaboration between adults that grew up loving Nintendo and now all these children that are being introduced to such a great game, um, and just the media attention and Nintendo actually responding and paying attention and giving the community a lot of what it wants. I don't think it's going to reach like what Fortnite levels have been unless Zero, keeps. I think Zero, the number one player in the world, he was like the third most watched streamer in December on
Yeah.
all of Twitch. And unless like Zero can keep that momentum up, I don't necessarily think like it'll reach Fortnite levels that Twitch has received. But I do think it is something that is going to have a very long and growing competitive life. As far as comparing it to Fortnite, I feel like Fortnite, because it's a shooter, yes, it's innovative and unique with the building mechanic. I think like Fortnite players are just going to move on to whatever the next big shooting game is going to be that throws in a new innovative factor, whether it's still a battle royale or not.
Mhm.
Um, I just think that shooting games, they're a little more divided than Smash is, because Smash it's not divided in the way like fighting games are. Like people will stick to like Blaze Blue or Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, but like with Smash players stick to Smash. And
Yeah.
yes, there's the Melee community, and then there's the Ultimate community now that has transitioned from Brawl and 4 and now to Ultimate. But I feel like they're collaborating more and more and kind of striving for growth and keeping that. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I've been playing it all day, because I've been sick, and dealing with being sick by playing video games is the best way to do it. Um, don't sleep when you're sick. Don't sleep. Just play video games. I promise you, it'll go away faster. Uh, uh, PubG just mysteriously vanished. Yeah, PubG. 2 years ago at TwitchCon, they had a PubG tournament. This
Yep.
year they had, what game was it that they had on the main stage like the whole time? It wasn't, was it Rainbow Six? It was something else. It wasn't PubG.
It could have been CS:GO.
Yeah, it might have been CS:GO. It might have been CS:GO. PubG did fall off. I feel like PubG had its go. They tried to do more with it, and it just didn't. It's not going faster than it needs to go to get ahead of the games like Fortnite. The thing with Fortnite that makes it so appealing is that it's free. It is a free game. That's the
Yeah.
best part. That's what makes it so accessible to everyone. So
Yeah. I think in the case, now that I'm thinking more about your question, like, do you think there will be tournaments at cons? I don't necessarily think that there's going to be like tournaments that a lot of people participate in, but I do think that we'll see them more in the form of like invitationals, where the top streamers that are also former pros or current pros, such as Zero, such as Armada,
mm,
such as Leffen. I think that at a TwitchCon, we could definitely see something like 8 to 16, maybe 24 or 32 of those players having a Sunday where they have a big stage that they play on, and anybody who bought a TwitchCon ticket can view the event there. And then we'll have D1, who is like one of the best commentators in all of Smash history and is also the leader of the Smash Bros. Like Twitch partnerships program.
mm-hmm.
He's in charge of managing that. I think that he could definitely help with commentating that and organizing an event like that and picking the best players for it. I definitely see something like that in the future for sure, because Smash is a great like spectator sport.
Yeah.
And anybody who might not be good at competing in it definitely still loves watching the best levels of play.
Yeah, yeah, and I think people, what they do is they like to get behind their favorite characters, even if they don't like the person playing them. I feel like they'll get behind a character that they've played personally and just go with it. Like it doesn't matter who's playing it. They're like, oh, you're playing Falcon. Oh yeah, I'm definitely rooting for you for this. I don't care who you are.
Yep.
Like you know,
Yep.
So out of all the characters that you've played, who do you play the most for Smash?
I play Pokemon Trainer,
Okay.
and it's funny that I like them the most. I think it's just my attachment to the Pokemon franchise that
Yeah.
I always end up gravitating more towards a Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, every Smash game, my most used character always ends up being at least one of them. Not all of them, but so far it's been Pokemon Trainer. I already have close to 1,000 games with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is the new Pokemon that they have in this new one? It's He's a
Incineroar. Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
The tiger.
I've heard I've only played against him one time, and I didn't even know he's a Pokemon, because I really wasn't paying attention to it until after the game when he beat everyone, and it came up a Pokeball, and then it showed him. I'm like, who is
Yeah,
this? I'm like, I had no,
yeah.
I've no, but watching that character, that character play was, I've never seen such a ridiculous move set in a play. He was like throwing people, they were hitting walls, jumping
Yeah.
back, and I'm like, is this a cheating character? Is this like one of those characters that you have to literally like, you could play with like a controller, but it's like the controller's like 18 other buttons because it's like it's just too
No.
much.
He's unique. He's not as complex as he might look.
Yeah.
He's really cool, and it was actually my most desired character to get into Smash, which is funny. He's from Sun and Moon, which is like the most recent Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't count Let's Go.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see how some of his more unique moves, like the spin move that he does, Darkest Lariat,
Mm.
that's only a move that Incineroar and only Incineroar can get. So it's really awesome to see it, like, just in Smash and how explosive he is. He's definitely all over the place, but, many people might not know this. His walk speed, I think, or his run speed is the slowest in the game. So, having as much power and being a big target, like, he's got a big chest, I think just having all those explosive moves kinda balances him out, and I would argue that he's more of a counter pick character than he is, like, solo viable, and I don't necessarily think he's gonna get, like, top results, but he could definitely cause some upsets.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, he was one of those characters where I just kind of like looked at him and I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna be like a really craptastic game because I'm gonna be playing against him. And I watched, it was like him and King K. Rule. Holy crap! That
Those are those are the noob killers for sure.
I watched.
They're hard to understand. Yeah.
I did a spectate, and it was two King K. Rules against two Marths, and it was the most epic battle I've ever seen. Because every time there was a King K. Rule that never died once, he had like 250 damage, and he kept getting thrown. And as he got thrown, he would just like propeller back up, land, use his
Yep.
shotgun, and I'm like, can you kill him? Can we? But then when the two King K. Rules ended up
Yeah.
winning because they literally just stood on the opposite sides of Marth and were just shooting him. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. This is so embarrassing right now for this Marth. I feel so bad for him. But whatever. I mean, hey, you're gonna jump into the pool with two giant gators. I guess you're gonna come out dead at that point. Yeah, that was an impressive match, I'd have to say. And I've never seen King K. Rool play, like, except for like trying to face him in World of Light. But that was it. That's the only time I've ever actually faced him.
Yeah, it's funny that you're asking, does he ever die? Like, I ask myself that all the time, even when I'm winning against him. Like, he's just fat. He's big. He does not go away.
Yeah, and I don't know. He has ridiculous amounts of like, you could hit him forever, and he doesn't fly. He doesn't get pounced out. So like it's too much. Like, it's too much for me, I think. So out of all of the games, if you can rank all of the Smash games, what would be your top one? What would be your bottom one?
Okay. Is this like I guess I could answer this. I would definitely say my personal favorite. I'm just gonna do it by personal favorites
Go for it.
rather than saying like what I think is the best or worst, because I think they're all amazing. But
Yeah.
as far as personal enjoyment goes, I like Ultimate the most, and I think that opinion is going to hold for even in 10 years from now. I think it'll still be my favorite. I mean, barring we get another Smash game.
Yeah.
Um, then after that, my second favorite is probably a tie between Melee and Project M.
Okay.
If you know what that is, it's a mod of Brawl that makes it play like Melee.
Okay.
Um, and then after that, I would say 64, then Brawl, then Smash 4.
Okay.
I still love Smash 4 and I invested so much time into it, but I just think that like looking back at how much emotional pain it has caused me
Yeah.
through all the balancing and all the patching and just what the community was like throughout all of those like Nintendo balance patches and DLC characters and the way the community responded to it. And the rule sets being 2 stocks, 6 minutes, I think really tampered my enjoyment of it.
Mm.
And I don't see it ever having longevity. I can't see people going back to that game and being like, yeah, yeah, remember the good old days of Smash 4? Like, and that's just my opinion. And it could change over time, but I do think Smash 4 honestly in a way can be a little worse than Brawl. It
Yeah.
it just feels more polarizing, whereas to Brawl has never been patched or changed. Sure, Meta Knight's really broken, but there's a lot to that game. The competitive history of it is actually a really cool script. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say the back in the day playing Smash was probably the best way to ever like settle a feud. If you're mad at someone, like you're like, all right, let's pull out the GameCube.
Yeah.
We're gonna play Smash. It was either Smash or playing Double Dash. If you played Double Dash, if I played you in Double Dash and you
Oh, that's
won,
amazing.
then you apparently won that conversation because I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I was phenomenal at that game. Um, and playing my brother and we had like telepathy. We could be like, okay, switch. We don't even have to say it. We just would be playing switch and switch off the control, switch off the driver or whatever. And because we played it so frequently, it became like,
Mm.
okay, you wanna you wanna challenge us? Okay, let's do this. We'll shut you up for the next 2 to 3 hours because you're not gonna beat us. It's not gonna happen. Not happening.
Mhm.
Has anyone played you where you're like, oh yeah, I'm trouncing this dude. I'm trouncing this dude right now, just to shut him up.
Um, in Ultimate, not really. There was one person who got pretty arrogant and was just like, "Dude, I would destroy you." And then I was like, "Okay, hop in the lobby, fight my friend LJ right now." And then she destroyed him, two stocked him. So I was like, "You're not even worth my time. Stop talking to me." Um, in in Smash 4, there were definitely a couple situations where like I kind of had put my foot in my mouth where somebody was trash talking me and I felt confident because of that trash talk and I
Yeah,
felt like they were just being really arrogant and then I ended up losing. But I think that I don't know. I don't want to John.
yeah,
That's the term for excuses, but they were just that game is just so unforgiving and jank and polarizing and
yeah,
I don't know. It's there's definitely people that they could put their money where their mouth was for sure, and
absolutely.
they were definitely better than me, and the trash talk I wouldn't say was deserved, but they earned it
Yeah. Uh,
definitely.
so we'll take a step back from Smash, and then I want to take a step into Twitch as a whole. When you started Twitch streaming, was it the quality of the stream that you kind of focused on, or was it the stuff that you like put into it, like your cameras and stuff like that? Did you focus more on that when you started off?
I didn't focus on that at all. My
Okay.
main focus was just like having fun with my community, really. And that I wouldn't trade that for anything. Like it was more so as I grew, people were like, "Why don't you have this? You should invest in this. Why don't you even have this yet?" And I'm like, "What?" Like people just asked me to stream and I did it. Like
Yeah.
I was streaming on my dad's office laptop with a 3DS capture card. Like that's how I started, and that's what it was for like the first year and a half. And
Yeah.
then when people were like, "Dude, Kev, your stream is like lagging. Your stream is like your webcam's all pixely, like this, that. How do you even have 40, 50 viewers right now?" I'm like, "Okay, sorry." And then I bought all the parts to build a PC, and I started with an i3. It wasn't until after I got partnered that I upgraded from that PC. Now I finally actually have a graphics card. I finally actually have an i7 and all that stuff it took years of just building up and going from
Yeah.
this piece to that piece. But it was more just always about like hosting tournaments for people and playing games together. That was really all I ever streamed for. I never even like thought that my layout looked bad, but if I look at it now, like if I were to go back to a stream from 4 years ago, I would probably think it was the ugliest looking thing in the world. For
Uh,
sure. Yeah.
no, when it comes to people that are kind of starting off new, brand new, do you see it as kind of a barrier that people kind of try to hit, because they're like, oh, well, I see this, that, and the other has, this, this awesome Kevy has this really kick-ass, layout and this really sweet, camera and whatnot. Do you think
Mhm.
people kind of trip over that before trying to get, go live?
I think if you're in a popular directory, it's important to care about how your stream looks and how you present your stream. But if you're in a directory that has nobody in it, like let's say you go to one of like the retro Sonic games and you're just looking to speedrun.
Yeah.
If you're good at the game and you're just focused on getting good at it, I don't think anybody's really gonna care about that stuff. But if you're looking to be like a Smash Ultimate streamer, you should definitely invest in the quality because you're competing with people like Leffen, Armada, and Zero at the top of your directory, and they might want to host you one day.
Yeah.
Like they're looking for a stream that looks good and presentable. I remember I got really lucky with a Shofu host, and I don't think he would have hosted me if my stream looked like shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, that's my personal opinion. I think that if you're in a more smaller directory that and that's, like, what you truly love and what you want to stream, like, if you're gonna stream smaller games, then just focus on having fun with that, and people who like those games are gonna watch you for that, and then they'll gravitate towards your personality, and maybe they'll even help you towards funding those things that you might not have money for.
Yeah.
So, who knows,
No,
That's my opinion.
yeah, I like that. I think that what ends up happening is people, they they'll go into a directory, and they'll think, well, if I have the same specs as this person, maybe I'll get this many views. Like, no, dude, it's not about that. Like, and that's kind of how I thought originally. I was like, oh, well, if I build this sweet ass computer and I like try to like, go crazy with whatever, maybe I'll get,
Mhm.
I'll get lucky. But it's like, no, you just have to grind it out and work and, diversify yourself and do other things than just stream, and eventually it'll happen, but you have to make it happen. It doesn't just
Mhm.
happen overnight. uh I think that's the biggest thing. I kind of tell people when they're coming into it, because I've had like new kids that have gone to GameStop and they're like, oh, you stream on Twitch, and I'm like, yeah, I stream on Twitch, and they're like, awesome, like what are you streaming? And I have to
Yeah.
try to tell them, and I'm like, listen, if you want to get into it, cool, but understand it's a dog eat dog world out there, and I promise you're wearing bacon pants, because they're gonna come after you. Like, people, it's not just like, oh, you should hit go, and guess what, you hit that ninja level like that. Like, no, it's not that easy, guys. I'm just gonna let you all know that. Like, um
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know, I just, it's it's crazy to me to see, um people that are partnered, who won't talk about that, though. They'll just be like, oh, yeah, yeah, it's really easy, just do what you want to do, stream what you want to stream. Like, no, it's not that easy, guys. It's not that easy. I promise you, it's not. I wish it was, but
Uh, yeah, I think it's also most people that are partnered now, Twitch was definitely different when they saw their success versus what it is now,
right.
like when I started and building my stream up, it was definitely just a much different environment than what
Yeah.
it is now. Like there were not nearly as many streamers as there are now. Like I feel like when I see people actively chatting in my chat, there are also people that have streamed, want to stream, or are also streamers. I feel like every viewer is also a streamer or wants to be a streamer in some capacity.
Yeah.
Um, so it's definitely I wouldn't say oversaturated, but like the streamer market, as far as like people that are streaming, it is saturating, or it is. I don't think it is overly so, but
Mm-mm.
there's just a huge abundance of more people that want to be the creator rather than the viewer for sure.
Yeah, and I like, like with your stream, I like the fact that, you're entertaining, but also you're informative. You understand that, like, people that are coming into your stream, they're talking about, oh, I want to play as this character. Tell me about this character more, and you can kind of
Mhm.
like direct them in that direction, and
Yeah.
it's a value that you bring to stream that not everyone has. Yeah, there's streamers that are, Smash streamers, and they're dedicated to Smash streaming, but they just stream it. They can't tell you the
Yeah.
mechanics of every single character that's out there. And that's important. I think it's super important, to teach, because there's streamers out there that I wish they would teach the stuff they knew in just even an hour-long class of like, hey, this is what I know. Let me explain to you what I know. You might not understand at the end, but you can at least give the information and understand the information that I hand to you.
Mhm.
The Nenu says the atmosphere of Twitch also affects the flow of some of the streams. Yeah, I agree. I what do you think about the whole, when people stream games for like, like the brand new games and then they just swap off to the next game? Do you think that really changes the flow? Like Red Dead Redemption came out and everyone was on Red Dead Redemption, and then Pokemon came out and everyone was on Pokemon, and then but those directories where those people were at kind of got flooded, and then now they're like deserted. Do you think that it affects the people that are on the lower numbers?
Um, I if anything, I think it's not a bad thing for people to take interest in something that's new. I think it's definitely a good thing, and for people that are gonna stick to that game, like let's say in the case of Pokemon, like Pokemon Let's Go had 100,000 people on the release weekend for Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah.
Um, I I think that now people who are still sticking to Pokemon and sticking to shiny hunting, I think that that's actually good for them. If
Mhm.
like, sure, if the directory was really hard when it started, at least the people that stuck with you know that you're passionate about it and devoted to it, and that's gonna help you stand out, I think.
Yeah.
So,
No, I like that. I think when it comes to at least certain games, it at least for like, like for Pokemon, let's say, because Pokemon Let's Go is kind of like Pokemon Yellow point two, I guess. That's what I kind of that's whenever because I have Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and whenever I'm trying to explain to people, I'm like, it's basically Pokemon Yellow, but the next version of Pokemon Yellow, they revamped it a lot, and
mhm,
I think that's what gets people back into it because they're like, oh, I can go watch these people play, but with me, I'd rather go to a streamer that's got 10 or 15 people watching, so I can kind of interact and try to figure out more information. I like to divulge more information from those streamers, and I think that's it's a
mhm.
great thing. It's now, but you have to give it a couple weeks. You can't just dive in when there's 10,000 people playing it. That's my biggest thing is I feel like I try to play games like 2 weeks after the fact. Then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Now I can play it, and I don't get buried in this giant directory. Um, so,
Yeah, I don't know, you just kinda have to play it game by game.
mm,
I it's hard for me to give advice because I've always just kinda, like, stuck to what I want. Like, New Super Mario Bros. U, it came out on the 11th of this month,
mm,
and I think I streamed it on the 12th or 13th, but that wasn't because I was, like, trying to stay away from release date. It was just when I felt like playing it, you know?
yeah,
So I kind of understand what you were saying earlier to touch on, like, when partners just tell you stream what you want when you want. That's what I do for myself. I see where you're coming from though, where it's like I would wait 2 weeks later if I wanna, like, be able to, like, be more discovered and be able to, like, express my passion for this game. I see both sides of the coin for sure. Yeah.
um, so when it comes to streaming in general, what are some key things that you would probably have told yourself when you were starting off? Like if
Mhm.
your like your future self, yourself right now goes back to the past, and you're starting off, and you're like, Kevy, this is exactly what I want to tell you right now from the future. What are you telling them?
Um, Things will change, don't let that overwhelm you. Yeah. 'Cause I get overwhelmed very easily.
Yeah.
I get very emotional, I get very high strung, and I think I have mellowed that out, and I've kind of found my way in the last few months, but, like, the summer was a really rough time for me emotionally trying to balance out working a job again and streaming, still having fun with it, seeing numbers fluctuate, etcetera, etcetera. Definitely, if I could have absorbed that much earlier, I think it would have made things more smooth.
Mhm.
There would be less people that I would have rubbed the wrong way. That said, I wouldn't change where I am now for the world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I no, I like that. I like that. You know, I think starting off, I was expecting a lot more from stream, and You know, I was expecting like, oh, I can make tons of side money. You know, now I just enjoy doing it because it's fun. Like I put money
Yeah.
into my stream and my setup because I'm like kind of a perfectionist, and if I see there's a flaw in something, I have to change it. Otherwise, it bothers me, and I don't like to stream with that whatever the flaw is. You know, so like I just redid my lights in the office. That was something that I had been looking at for no joke probably a year now, and I just finally pulled the trigger on it. And I was like, you know what? And I like put up the lights,
Nice.
turned them on. And I'm like, like it was such a relief. You know, it made it so it like completed the room. It made me feel better, and I think that was my biggest thing. Like, I don't care if I spend money on myself because it's just, you know, I don't care. There's okay. It's like an extra $100 that I knew I was going to spend on the stream anyways, but I did it constructively instead of just like spending it on, you know, extra, you know, an extra mouse or something, which I know I don't need.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest thing. I think for me, my biggest thing is spend your money wisely. Don't be stupid about spending your money. And I wish I would have learned that earlier because I was spending my money stupidly on stuff that I definitely didn't need at first. And I rocked, I rocked a what was it, a blue snowball mic for like 2.5 years, and that thing was a rock. I love that.
I still have one. I've had it for ever since I started. I still use a blue snowball.
Hey,
I'm
they're
doing it right now.
not. I love. And you know the thing is, I like the blue snowball mic because it's so versatile. But it's like $50, and it's like you can throw it on a boom arm and make it look professional as hell. Still, you know, right? Exactly.
Yep, here we go.
Exactly.
Don't even need a pop filter. It has one built in.
Right. All right. Try finding a pop filter for that monstrosity. There's no way of finding it. I tried building a pop filter for that thing. It just did not work. And then I swapped to this AT2020, which I really like, but then I had to change boom arms because AT2020 is a heavy brick of a freaking microphone. So it would just like in the middle of the stream, the microphone would just kind of fall over. And nothing's worse than when you're in the middle of a game and like the whole thing falls and like hits your controller, knocks your controller out of your hand, which has happened like numerous times. I was just like, all right, well, I'm done with that.
It's funny because Nanua, she's here in the chat right now. She actually reacted the strongest to this one. But the screw at the end, like I didn't even notice it was kind of like unscrewing off my desk. But while I was in the middle of like changing games or something, I just like fidgeted and I slightly touched my boom arm, like barely graced it, and it just fell over completely. It was amazing stream comedy, but yeah, I'm very clumsy even still. Like people think I have my stuff together, but I still have moments like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've knocked over my green screen a couple times. That's why now it's attached to the wall and it's completely out of my, like I can't touch it right now, which is perfect because I'm the clumsiest person ever. And I used to have it on this like divider thing, and that was a death trap. My dog would walk into the room and she'd hit it and it would knock over the whole thing while I'm streaming. And I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm gonna die in here. You know, it would knock over onto me and my computer. I'm like, this is gonna start a giant computer fire if I'm not careful. Bulletproof says my boom arm fell like twice a week. Yeah, this boom arm that I bought, it was like $90, but it was like $70 at TwitchCon, and that's the reason why I bought it. That was the only reason I bought it because it was on sale. Because I'm super what is the word? Cheap. That's probably the best word. Cheap is the best word. I wait for deals. I'll wait months for deals, and I'll just it'll be in my Amazon you know, checkout, and then I'm like, oh, it went $20 down. Buy it right now. Buy it. I don't care how much money I have left in the bank account. Do it right now, and you know, it works. So, what are some improvements to Twitch that you would like to see?
When there's a social media outrage, I'm sure you pay attention and you saw like the case with I don't even remember his name, but he like hit his wife on stream, and then he was unbanned. And there was just an uproar of people that were upset. And it's like, why did it take so long for somebody on Twitch staff to say something.
Right.
I think it was DJ Wheat. He's like, I hear your concerns. I'm not in charge of moderation, but I'm going to see what's going on. Like, why did it take so long? Why did it take a whole day? Like, respond a little bit quicker because we know you see us. We know you see our tweets. We know you see so much. Like,
Right.
put out a statement because they listen to a lot of things that we say, so like listen just a little bit quicker. Don't give a whole day of people like freaking out. Don't make it take like a popular streamer having an hour long discussion. Like, don't even give them that. Like, respond,
Right.
say something. Like, if you slipped up, just own up to the mistake and do it. And I think they are better at doing that than YouTube is, like, thank goodness.
Yes.
But I just want to see more of a response because Twitch is a big community, and our dialogue with the higher uppers is something that is it's going on, but it just shouldn't take a whole day for us to hear something back from them. I think. I don't know. I want to see like I don't want to see a situation like that ever happen again, and I don't want to see somebody like that ever get unbanned.
Right.
I need more transparency,
Not.
especially as a partner. Like it makes me worry because like they have, like, a support queue that it only takes them a day to answer us through emails, but, like, if it's on social media and you have, like, 3,000 partners and
Yeah.
a bunch of other community members, like, saying shit, and we know staff has their Twitters, we know their personal Twitters, like RSS who responds to my emails when I need something for my channel, like, uh, if there's, like, Twitter DMs like that are going on, that they should publicly be able to say something faster,
No, I
I
agree.
think.
I agree. I think what with using a different example, and this, I mean, it's not apples to apples on this, but the example of like the line kind that is Twitch that was TwitchCon last year. They tried to respond, but it was such a craptastic response that it warranted such, people were like up in arms about it, and that was something small. That wasn't even something that was like, I mean, it was small in the sense of um it was affecting people, but it wasn't a people were dying over it, or people were getting hurt over it. It was that people lost a whole day of being at TwitchCon because of the fact of this whole debacle of lines and whatnot. I think that if they have transparency, it's gonna make ripping off that band-aid that much easier. um
Yeah.
yeah, and I agree with you on that. I think that there's some little things that little nuances that I wish they would take from other websites and try and see if it works. Because if it doesn't work, get rid of it. But if it does work, guess what? Keep it. Claim it as your own.
Mhm.
Be like iPhone. Claim it as your own. I don't care. I'm a huge proponent of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But like, if it is broke, fix the damn thing right now, please. Because
Mhm.
if you don't fix it, people will leave, and it's not a good thing. Um, I think that transparency is something that they definitely haven't worked on just yet, and I think it's just because they're trying to get their own. They're just starting to kind of get the understanding of like, holy shit, this is a big company now. Like, this is not Justin TV that used to be. This is Twitch. This is Twitch, and Twitch is a massive entity now. I think it has something to say when you can tell your grandparents like, hey, I'm on Twitch, and they're like, oh, that place where Ninja's at. You're like, yeah, yep,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. But you know what though, it gives that validity to the platform now. You know what I mean? Um, so I think they kind of just, like you said, own up to their shit. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I will say that they are definitely getting better at responding to people and like I said, like giving um the community things that they've been asking for a while. But yeah, in the case of like when people are upset over something, I just wish we had a faster response. Like they still do respond, they still do address it, but I just wish it were a little bit more quicker to the punch because like if you have a huge majority of people saying something and you have people on staff saying like I'm concerned, like do it faster,
right.
like cooperate with your staff. There shouldn't be staff going to social media also like being on the same level as the casters. That
Yeah.
like it should just address it
Yeah.
quicker
No, I like
is how
that. I agree. So is there anything that you hope that they include into TwitchCon this year, that they didn't have last year?
I don't know. I've never 'Cause I go to a con, like, as more of a social thing. I don't go there, like, to try and learn how to improve my stream. I don't go there, um I don't really go there as, like, a TwitchCon attendee. I
Yeah,
more so go there to see my friends that I've made and built lasting relationships with. And, like, we go to like, my favorite part of TwitchCon this year was going to get food and, like, having some fries at a I don't even remember the name of the restaurant, but it was, like, in San Jose, just the way those french fries were, like, that's my favorite memory, like, just sitting down with 4 of my friends at a table and eating french fries, like, I don't know. So it's hard for me to comment on that.
yeah,
I definitely think that the keynote is always an amazing experience. When they're talking about features that are going to be coming to Twitch, I like that they reserve that for TwitchCon and we get to experience that in person.
yeah,
Um, I think that maybe they should have more big presentations like the keynote throughout the weekend on like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like
yeah,
they should definitely have like DJ Wheat and I don't even remember the name of the guy who wears the bow tie and the tight pants, but they should have him like do more presentations maybe because those are really fun to be at.
yeah,
So so being able to tell people like, "Oh, I was at the keynote on Friday. You should go to this thing tomorrow. The same guy's hosting it. Maybe we'll go with you," you know? Like
yeah,
you missed out on this on day 1 because your flight got in Friday night, but let's go to this thing Saturday morning.
yeah.
Like that'd be nice.
I feel like on Sunday they should just be like, all right, we're gonna have a half hour of quiet time because I know half of you are still drunk from the night before. Just so, and that's
Mhm.
this year I didn't get crazy, but the first year that was a bad Sunday. It was just a quiet Sunday on beanbags for like an hour. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, more beanbags. I'd enjoy that. I was enjoying the beanbag sections. Um, No, I think they're just different places. That's really my biggest thing. Is I hope that they have it in
Mhm.
somewhere else, just so I can experience a different part of California. That's my biggest
Mhm.
thing. Like San Diego would. Oh my god, I was so stoked for San Diego. I would be
Mhm.
I'd be very happy with that. Is there any places that particularly you said you would like San Diego? Is there any other places that we didn't talk about that you'd probably like to see it in?
I know something that a lot of people have been asking for a while is like an East Coast TwitchCon.
Yes.
I would not be opposed to having something in like Orlando, Florida. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Um, that's that. I like that they're bringing it to Europe first before they give the US 2 different locations. But I do think eventually, as Twitch grows more and more, we'll definitely see like a TwitchCon East, a TwitchCon West, maybe one in Texas.
Yeah, kind of like PAX,
Yeah,
how PAX is right now.
Yeah, I definitely think TwitchCon itself could get to a level like that. Because like I go to PAX East every year. I have been for the last 3 years.
Hmm.
So it would definitely be cool to have something. Because I live in New York. Just traveling to California once a year. Well, it's great. It's not necessarily I don't look forward to those flights or like all the arranging and the money
Yeah.
you have to spend
Oh,
for that to work out.
oh yeah.
Um, I love San Diego. Definitely, I'm not opposed to anywhere in California. I'm happy with. I love California, NorCal, SoCal, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I could see summertime Chicago would be kind of cool, or summertime like Boston or New York would be kind of cool, but I feel like New York might be a little too
I
congested.
I don't like New York for conventions. I hate that idea. As somebody that has grown up and seen the city a lot and
No, I
been there
get
a
you.
lot, nah, I don't know about that.
I do the like I said, the Chicago and Boston. I've been to those three major cities, and I think that out of the three, Chicago would probably work the best. I do kind of like the idea of Florida. I've never been to Florida before, so that'd be kind of cool. But I do agree. I think that PAX has it right now, where they have a PAX North, South, East, and West. And I believe don't they have like an EU version of PAX as well now? That's
Yeah,
going
there's
on.
there's also there's also PAX Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know about EU, but I know there's PAX Aus.
Okay. Yeah. So and just it took time for them to grow to that. I feel like eventually, yeah, Twitch is gonna definitely need that level. of because there's no way they're going to be able to house that many people in California, once a year. They're not going to be able to, unless they find a permanent location. Like say they picked
Mhm.
San Diego as their permanent location in October. The last week in October every year was San Diego TwitchCon. Okay, cool. Then now we know.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, that was I think that's my biggest thing is not knowing where it's at. Kind of gives you, it's like a little bit on edge because you're like, okay,
Yeah.
where is it at? Where's it? Oh, San Diego, let's go. Like you have to literally get yourself prepped and have the
Yep.
money set and all that crap. And it's just it's a cluster sometimes, trying to find
Yeah.
a place and all that. Um, did you guys stay at an Airbnb or a hotel last year?
I stayed in a hotel with 4 other friends, and it was easy. We
Yeah,
were like a 10-minute walk from the convention center, so it was
nice.
pretty simple.
And
Yep.
we stayed in an Airbnb. It was me and two other guys, and we ended up the host was like this little old lady, and she like left breakfast out for us, stuff like that. It was I, definitely one of the best places I've ever stayed at. She was super cool. She's like, yeah, I made you coffee and I have breakfast for you and take it with you. I was like, I'm like, is this my grandma? Did we bring my grandma to California with me? Like, all
That's
right,
beautiful.
I love you. I love you. Bye, grandma. But no, I mean, I'm pretty stoked on that. So as a whole, Twitch has been, growing pretty basically exponentially over the last 2 years. Where do you
Mhm.
see Twitch going to? Do you see them far surpassing YouTube soon, or is it going to be a couple years?
I don't think Twitch will necessarily ever be, like, bigger than YouTube. I don't think that that's necessarily possible to do when YouTube also offers live content and just has, like, super big creators like PewDiePie and all that, that they've been around for, like, years, like, it's a legacy thing. It's been around for 6 or 7 years longer than
Hmm.
Twitch, like, um, I do remember Justin.tv from when I was, like, younger and stuff and when it was, like, first a thing, but
Yeah,
it was just more, like, low key and chill, and it was something that, like, a few, like, smaller YouTubers, like, did as a way to, like, talk to their audience because YouTube didn't have streaming implemented at that time.
yeah,
And now since Twitch is more gaming focused, and I think that will always be something that holds it back from being, like, a super media type thing,
yeah,
in the way that YouTube is just way more diverse. And I know that Twitch does have diverse things. Like right now, we're doing like the directory is talk shows and podcasts, but it's still gaming is the priority and the focus and like what a
yeah,
streamer would go here for. Um, so I think that it's gonna be more legitimized though as time goes on. Like if Twitch is a thing in 10 years from now, saying that you're a Twitch streamer would not it wouldn't be met with like, "Oh, what is that?" Like people would definitely know what it is, and I think that like doing it as your job would be just as legitimate as somebody saying that they're a radio host. So,
yeah.
I
And
think I think it's in that same tier of entertainment for sure.
yeah, and I agree with that. I think that eventually we'll have the same level that YouTube is currently, but it's, of course at that point YouTube is going to keep just doing this, so they're going
Mhm.
to keep growing, and Twitch is, I think it's an amazing platform for the fact that it's live. YouTube, yes, they have the live aspect now, but I feel like they've fallen behind in that part. Um,
Mhm.
and I like the fact that Twitch has definitely got that kind of under wraps. They understand how everything works. They know the backbone of it. Seeing that like people like Mixer and Facebook are kind of trying to do the same thing now. Um, it's awesome. Like it's awesome to see competition. I like seeing competition because it helps other companies grow. Um, I think that's the biggest thing is seeing, other companies grow, especially the one that you're on. Um,
Mhm.
Now as you have um you know rebranded and all that stuff this year, what are some things that you're looking forward to doing in 2019 for your channel and for your community?
So next project I'm going to be tackling is I just bought a PS4. It's going to be coming in the mail tomorrow,
Hmm.
and I'm going to be streaming Persona 5 to celebrate Joker getting in Smash Bros as DLC. I want to explore his game and see if I develop an attachment to the character before I start fighting with him. So that is something I'm really, really looking forward to because I've never heard of a AAA title being 100 to 200 hours long. So I'm really looking forward to diving into that for a few weeks. Obviously, I'm still going to be playing Smash a lot
Hmm.
and coaching, and I'm really just like kind of looking forward to where that takes me. I'm very much looking forward to playing a competitive game with the mindset of I want to learn, not I want to win.
Okay.
I'm super excited for that, and I think it's going to be really healthy for my mentality. Personal life stuff. I moved back in with my parents a few months ago just to save some money, so I'm looking forward to seeing what my next step is in regards to that. Like where am I going to move? What state? Like with who? I'm still working that all out, but by the summer I should have it all figured out, and I'm looking
Awesome.
forward to that. As far as what I stream, I don't know. Smash is just gonna be my main focus, and maybe I'll do like a Piranha Plant tournament when Piranha Plant drops, or like with each DLC character, I'll be able to improvise and figure it out from there. But I'm just kind of keeping it simple from now. Like I just want to learn that this game. I want to play games that interest me and intrigue me as they come up. Like Persona is just what interests me right now, and then I'm sure another game will pop up and interest me.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of Mario games on my backlog. Like I
Hmm.
want to play the Galaxy games, and I want to play like old 64 games, like Yoshi games and stuff like that. It'll always be like Nintendo focused. Team Sonic Racing's coming out in the spring, and I want to learn speedruns for that. I'm actually a top 10 speedrunner for Sonic Forces, I don't, so I have that background, and I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to not taking myself too seriously because I've kind of like figured out what my rhythm is, and everybody's vibed with that pretty well. So
No, I like that. I like that a lot. I think once you find your niche or your little community that you can run with, and they enjoy what you do and you enjoy what you do, I think that's the best. That's like
mhm,
that nice symbiotic relationship that people want to achieve. And I'm glad that you're
yeah,
able to get to that point because it
yeah,
sometimes it takes too long. Some people get inundated with, oh, well, I want to do this, but then they get discouraged because they can't do it or whatever. And I'm glad that
mhm.
um I can find people that actually enjoy what they're doing, and it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this because it pays the bills now. Like, no, you know.
No, I'll never do for that. That's also why I'm lucky that coaching is being received so well for me. That I'm like at a level where I could actually help people and they're willing to want to work with me.
Yeah.
Um, I think that like the financial stuff, like I think it just comes naturally from people enjoying what you have to put out there. Like if I, like as a partner, if I have emotes that people want to use that fit with like the branding of my channel or like that fit the emotions and the expressions of me. Like I think my emotes are just an extension of my personality. Like
Yeah.
people will wanna pay for that just as it happens. I don't like to push that stuff on people, and I would never wanna like Pokemon has given me the best viewership, but I would never wanna keep streaming something that I'm not in the mood to stream because then people aren't gonna be drawn towards it, and then the money's gonna fizzle away. So I'd rather restructure and rebuild as I go, rather than just like sticking to something that other people want. I want to do what I want, and people. I'll find new people that like me if the other ones go away.
No, I like that. I like that. So I'm gonna open up the floor to anyone that wants to ask questions. If you guys want to ask questions to Kevy, type them up in chat. I'm gonna give him one last question, and then we can kind of just see where it goes with that. So my last question to you is is the question I basically ask everyone. Is what is one piece of advice that you would give to a new streamer that is just fresh off the street and wants to start doing what you're doing basically?
Um, I would tell them to watch at least 3 different streamers of any size, see what it is that you like about them, and then try to see parts of yourself that that are in that streamer. And if you don't like them, you don't like them. Find somebody else new. But if you find somebody that you like really click with and you like what they have to put out there, what is it about them that you also see in yourself? And how can you build off of that? Or like in English terms, paraphrasing. What do you like and how can you make it your own? I think is important. I think you have to be comfortable talking to yourself. You also have to be comfortable in front of an audience. Those are just two things you have to get used to or you have to be mentally prepped for. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else than that. I guess also if you're just starting, if you're struggling and you really want to make it fun, if you're not enjoying yourself, maybe it's just not for you. Or try to just like keep trying new things. Don't just like get stuck in one thing. If you keep doing the same thing and it's not working, stop it. And that doesn't necessarily mean the game, but it could mean your approach to the game that you're playing. So if you just want to do a playthrough of your favorite RPG, for example, and like you're kind of stuck in the mud streaming it, then maybe learn the speed run for it. Maybe just bring your friend on for a voice call. Just maybe try to find a game that's similar to that if it is the game itself. I don't know. It's hard for me to give advice on this, but that's kind of like where what I think personally.
No, honestly, I like that. It's it's hard for people to get started, I feel, and I think that having just that little piece of advice definitely helps. Just in general, because it's a like I said, it's a dog eat dog. Oh, the dog eat dog world out there, and you're wearing bacon pants, and it's not it might not be for everyone, but you might be a really good moderator, or you might be a really good, I don't know,
Mhm.
artist or something like that, that you can still contribute to a channel, or you can contribute to a community, but it just might not be your thing to stream. I definitely know for a fact, in my own personal opinion, is like I'm not fantastic at video games. I'm subpar at video games. I really like to talk, and I could talk to a brick wall and make friends with a brick wall. I don't care. Like it doesn't,
Mhm.
like that's my big thing is like it doesn't matter if you're ninja or you're just starting off on the platform. I could talk to you and I don't it doesn't like make me nervous or make me freak out or anything. Now there's some people that I definitely have fangirled over and froze up and not
Yeah.
talked because I just couldn't I my brain didn't connect to my mouth correctly. But then I like came back and I'm like, okay, it's just a person.
Yeah.
There's just a person. But like that I think that's I like that, get comfortable with talking to people, to literally just talk to yourself in a room, make fun of yourself. It's probably the biggest thing I could say, that I like to do is make fun of myself. It definitely helps.
Yeah, I definitely think something everybody could work on is taking themselves a little bit less seriously. I used to like through for raids, I used to get up and dance. Like I used to be like an abundance of energy. Now I don't have as much space in my room. I used to be in a big studio room, but
mm,
I used to just get up and dance. I used to pull out my guitar and just do improv songs. I always still I try to like make rhymes and poems out of everything. And like I think people are kind of drawn towards that silliness, where some people would be worried that they're being too cringy or they're like this and that, and it's just don't worry so much, just be yourself. Don't apologize for being yourself. If somebody doesn't like it, fuck them. Like it's not a big deal. Everybody needs to take themselves a little less seriously, and you can still maintain professionalism with that, I think.
yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, so I'll give you the floor. I want you to tell everyone where they can find you, um, on Twitch or anywhere else.
Sure. So on Twitch, you could follow me on twitch.tv/Kevy, Kevy. I stream pretty much every day, 6 days a week, if not seven. Midnight to 2 a.m. EST is roughly when I start, and then I'm going to be live usually for 4+ hours. I tend to stream long hours some days. I tend to only stream 3 or 4 some other days. And for the most part, you'll find me with Smash. But like I said, I'm going to be starting Persona 5 very, very soon. And if you like other Nintendo or Sonic the Hedgehog content, then that's definitely that it's right up your alley. My community is super, super easy to get along with. If you just want a place to chat and vibe and ask open-ended questions and get transparency back, then you will fit right in with me. On Twitter and Instagram, you can find me at Kevy Pride. And YouTube, I You can find a link to that once I like update all my stuff regarding that because I still need to change my channel URL with the with the rebrand, and I barely upload to YouTube anyway. But yeah,
I like it. I
all right.
like it. And I do have one last question. Um, and this might be a dividing question for some people, but pancakes or waffles?
It depends on what mood am I in, but for the most part, waffles. Pancakes, I feel like you need to have a drink with it or like you need milk with it, but with waffles, I don't necessarily feel that like you need a specific type of drink.
Okay.
Like I could have waffles with water or coffee or et cetera, et cetera. Pancakes, like I need like a big glass of milk to like wash it down. So I'm not always the biggest fan of it. I feel like it like still you know those foods that like just like stay in your throat. I don't know. Pancakes are kind of like that for me. So like I have to really be in the mood.
Okay. I
So I'm a waffle boy.
there's a one place that's by me that does they do pancakes, but they have like vanilla in the pancake mix. And I'll tell you right now, it's like magic. That stuff is like absolute magic. That's the only reason I
I
like
will
pancakes.
say though, I do like IHOP more than I like Waffle House.
Okay.
I call Waffle House the Awful House. I like IHOP a lot. IHOP is like unrivaled for going to a corporate breakfast place.
I like it.
So
I like it.
yeah.
Um, well, thank you so much for coming on. Seriously, I appreciate it. For everyone that came in, thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. Kevy, it was great having you on here. Um,
Yeah, dude.
and I hope to see you at TwitchCon. It'll be a good time. We could talk a little bit more about how I suck at Smash, and then maybe you can give me some pointers right then and there. But because I would definitely bring my Switch to con this year. So, but
All right.
all right, man. Thank you so much again.
You have a wonderful night. It was awesome having me. It was awesome. Thank you for having me. It was awesome having me. I mean, it was, but
It was
thank
awesome.
you so much
It
for
was
having me.
awesome having you. Thank you again.
Have a great night, dude.
All right, bye bye. All right, guys, swapping on over. Oh, baby. How you guys doing tonight? Thank you so much for coming in. Seriously, I really appreciate it. For everyone that did come through, it was awesome having me. It was awesome having you, Kev. Thank you so much. Seriously, love your faces, guys. I hope that everyone enjoyed being in the stream tonight. We were definitely vibing pretty well, and I think that it was a good time. If you guys enjoyed this, you guys can always check out Kevy and his channel, twitch.tv/Kevy, Kevy. If you want to check him out there. All the links will be in the description when this is on YouTube and on Spotify and on iTunes. You guys can check those out in the show notes. Thank you again for having me as your podcast host. This is Bladecast. We try to do one a week. We are going to be having another one on the, I believe, the 29th. Yes, the 29th. We're going to be having Ryu the Red on, who is a Black Desert Online streamer. He's a partner streamer with that, and that's about it. If you guys want to check my stuff out a little bit more, if you guys are interested, check out my social links. I am Stay Your Blade on basically every platform except for I think YouTube, which is SYB Productions, and Facebook is just SYB Productions, just because I wanted to have the clarity on those ones. Those are different, a little bit different. But hope you had a great night. Thank you so much for coming by. Love your faces. Peace out. Blades up. And I'll see you guys on the next one. No. Thank you so much for the follow. All right. Peace out, guys. Love you. Bye.